Hello, trading has closed on November 27th, 2018. Target from yesterday's pattern was 26.6113. That printed and there was resistance under the target. We have new targets from today's pattern. There's an optional target of 26.6644. If it doesn't print by tomorrow, we forget it. And there's a target of 26.6488, favored to print tomorrow. Here's the chart. MEJT says this is a false move. Standard rule applies. If we gap up smartly, this might be out of reach. Doesn't mean I'm predicting it won't print, just means I'm no longer predicting it will. Well, futures are up as I'm recording this, and I can't say gapping up is impossible. I just can't. But if we don't gap up, we have much lower targets. So let's assume we don't gap up. If we gap up, everything's canceled. Let's assume we gap up. Let's assume we don't gap up. If that happens, what could happen tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's pattern is the one with the early low and the late high. In general, it tends to be an up day, close near the high. And if it is a negative day, it tends to drop early. So if we're going to see these prices, I would expect us to drop early. So it would make some sense if we could find resistance here, and there is some. I just can't be confident it's going to hold. First of all, we've had this big overlapping rally, and all that's done is to fill the gap. If we're going to proceed, we have to go through some of these highs and not just retest the lows. The standard thinking here is that this demarked TD line is going to hold, and that before we cross it by more than a small amount, a token amount, we should drop 175 points under the line. Now the line right now is about 2707. That's 25 points higher, but that's the general idea. Now there is Fibonacci resistance here. You take this high and this low, and the 23.6% lines right at this point. So in addition to closing the gap, you've got Fibonacci resistance. This is a possible count, but it would make a prettier picture if wave C undercut this low, because usually on this first move down, you're going to undercut the origin of the ending diagonal triangle. So although wave C could end here, I'd be happier if it ended under 25.9462. Now, I don't know how to count these waves here, but if we do stop right at resistance, I guess I could talk myself into this being a diagonal triangle with this A, B, C, D, E. So if that is what it is, we should drop right from the open. Now if you take this Fibonacci grid with this low at 50% and the current price and the old gap at 38.2, 61.8 is right under this low, which satisfies my requirement that we undercut this one. I also have a lot of MEJT targets here from back in January. I'm sorry, that was back, not in January, back in 2017, back over here. So I think tomorrow's open is going to be, so one more chart I had. Well, here's the long-term chart. This trend line's been hit so many times. It goes back to 2006. It's been hit so many times. It's a matter of time till it breaks, and breaks in grand style. Now, whether it breaks now or we go up higher first, this chart can't say. But we've had this huge rally of 5 waves up. We should get a corrective 3 waves down, which has some relation in magnitude to the length of this move up. That assumes this count's correct, which I think it is. So tomorrow's open, I think, will tell the story. It's a pattern with the early low, typically after 1 or 2 hours of trading. It has a late high. And either we're going to gap over this price, in which case these numbers won't print, or we should drop pretty much right from the open, hit these numbers, and if we hit these numbers, this probably is an ending diagonal triangle or leading diagonal triangle, depending on how you're counting it. Could even be a wave B, just call it a diagonal triangle. And if that's true, we'll probably undercut this low pretty soon thereafter, if we gap down smartly and if these numbers print. I don't think this will be too far behind, even if we don't see it tomorrow. But that requires this holding. We don't gap up. We'll have to wait till tomorrow's open to see which of those two scenarios plays out, and that's today's call.